Hello friends. Hello friends. I hope all of you are doing fine. Today in the afternoon, we were discussing the ambiguity of grammars. Because of some power issues, I am unable to complete that. Now we will see the remaining topics from the TOC. Okay, and we will solve some previous year's questions of TOC also. We solved some ambiguity and okay, we will see these are the now we can able to solve some questions. Yes, this we already solved. This question is asking about which of the following grammars is ambiguous. Okay, uh, we have to produce some strings and we have to see is there any two or more. If there exist two parse trees for a same string, then it is called as what? It is called as ambiguous grammar, right? Ambiguous means for the one string we are getting more than one parse tree. That is called as ambiguous grammar. We already solved this question in the before session. This decidability I will discuss after some time. These are based on the decidability problems. Okay, here this is a we already discussed the closure properties, right? I already this question is based on the this is a UGC NET 2020 November question. The question is the union of two context free languages is context free. Yes, here we will see union intersection. This is a complement and union intersection complement concatenation clean star clean plus this only, right? These are the different operations: union, intersection, complement, concatenation, clean star, and clean closure. Okay, now this is regular and DCFL, CFL, CSL, recursive, and recursively enumerable. You have to remember this chart, then only you can easily answer this type of questions from closure properties. Regular languages are closed under all operations. DCFL is closed under only complementation. It is not closed under all other operations. And CFL is closed under union. It is not closed under intersection and not closed under complement. Concatenation is closed, CFL is closed under everything except this two: complement, intersection and complement. Again CSL is closed under all operations, and recursive also closed under all operations. Okay, recursively enumerable is closed under all except complement operation. Okay, this is about the closure properties chart. If you remember this chart, then it is very easy to uh, answer this type of questions. First option is we have to tell which of the following statement is true. One of the statements is true from these four. The union of two context-free languages is context-free. Yes, context-free means we have to see this. Okay, not DCFL. CFL, if any time in the exam CFL is given, means it is a NCFL. Okay, the union of two context free languages is context free. Yes, it is true, right? CFL is closed under union operation. That's why option 1 is true. Next, the intersection of two context-free languages is context-free. No, it is wrong. Context-free is not closed under union. That's why option 1 is right answer. Then we will see other options also. Third option is saying the complement of a context-free languages is context-free. No, context CFL is not closed under complement operation also. That's why it is also, this is wrong and this is wrong. If a language is context-free, it can always be accepted by a deterministic push-down automation. No, deterministic push-down automata only accept the, it should have only one comparison and the push and pop should be clear. Suppose it is like this, then we will push all A's. Whenever we are seeing B's, we will pop 1A per 1B, 1A per 1B, like this we can pop. This is deterministic push down automata. But this context free means it can be NCFL also, right? NCFL means this is multiple copy of machine. Multiple copy of machine is needed here in case of NCFL. Whereas in case of DCFL, single copy of machine means only in single comparison it can the stock will be empty. But whereas in NCFL, the stock cannot be empty in single comparison. This is a single copy of machine and this is a multiple copy of machine. That's why this is also wrong. The option 1 is right. Yes friends, the option 1. This is my original key and the option 1 is the right answer. This is chosen option. This option is chosen by me and this is the right option. Next question. This is also UGC NET 2020 November. Okay. Match list 1, list 2. This is a regular language and LCF. This is context free language, recursive and recursively enumerable. There are matching is given. Okay. First one is language recursive complement. What is the complement of recursive language? Is it recursive is closed under complement operation? Yes, right? We will see this table. Yes, recursive is closed under all operations. That's why the complement of recursive is recursive only. Okay, we can write this like this. Recursive complement union recursively enumerable. Recursive union, now the complement of recursive is recursive and recursively enumerable. Which is the more power having, which language is having more power among these? Recursively enumerable. That's why the union becomes recursively enumerable. Okay, the option 1 will be matched with what? A with match with 1. Okay, only this option is like matching, right? We will see. Yeah, right. By using just first one only, we came up with the answer. This is 3 is the right answer here. Now we will check the next one also. Here second one is context free complement union recursive. Context free language is context free is closed under complementation? No, right? CFL is not closed under complementation. Please check this. CFL is not closed under complementation. That's why it cannot be CFL complement union recursive. That means CFL, I hope you remember this Chomsky normal form. This is regular, this is CFL and this is CSL. This is recursive and the final last one is recursively enumerable language, right? This is the Chomsky normal form. Okay, CFL is not closed under complementation means if we do the complementation of CFL, we will not get CFL. We we will get CSL, right? Which is the highest of this language, which is having more power than CFL, CSL. Maximum the CFL complementation is not closed means it will not become CFL. It will become CSL. Okay, CSL union recursive, which is having more power. Union means we will take which is having more power. Which language is having more power? Recursive. Here recursive. Yeah, the B is matching with 2 only. Next, the third option is third option is what? This regular clean star intersection CFL. LCF means CFL. The regular language is closed under all the operations, right? That's why regular clean star is regular intersection CFL. What it will become? Whatever we are doing intersection with regular, it will become that language only, CFL only. Okay, which is common here, which is having more power from this intersection. CFL is having more power. That's why we will take CFL here. That's why this is a CFL. This is matching with 3. Option 3 is the right answer here. Next, this is also UGC NET 2020 November question. The set of input symbols here are A, B, and the regular expression is the L1. L1, two languages are given. L1 is A star plus B whole star, and L2 is A plus B whole star. Now we have to say which of the following is true with respect to two languages. Which is L1 subset L2 or L2 subset L1 or L1 is equal to L2 or L1 intersection L2 is pi. Now we will generate some strings, then we can came to know either these two languages are not equal or a subset, which is subset of which are empty. We can easily say A star means what? A star means epsilon is also possible, and A is possible. A any number of A's can be possible. A star means, right? Plus B whole star. This is a whole star. That means what? We are doing this plus B. That means A epsilon A, any number of A's plus B whole star. The whole star means what? What is the meaning of whole star? Whatever may be inside. A is there and B is there. This can become, this is the A plus B. The meaning of A plus B whole star. A star plus B whole star means any number of A's or any number of B's, any combination of A and B is also possible here, right? A is possible, B is possible, A, B, B, A, B, A, B, A. Like this, any number of A's, any number of B's, there is no ordering, there is no nothing, ordering is not there, and epsilon is also possible because whole star means in this whole also there is a possibility of whole star. Now L2. L2 also same, right? A plus B whole star means A plus B whole star means what? In this language also any number of A's possible, epsilon possible, and any number of A's like this also possible, and any number of B's, B's, BB, triple B, and combination of AB, BA, AAB, BAA, like this. Any combination of A and B is also possible in this language also. In language L1, nothing is more than this language L2, because inside A star means there is no difference, because outside there is a whole star. That means just by using this outside star only, we can take A any number of A's. No need of taking A star inside this, because already outside there is a star. This star is meaning that any number of A's, any number of B's, any combination of A and B's, and epsilon also possible. Here also, if, if this is not A star also, no problem. In this language also, we can generate any number of A's, and whole star is there. That's why epsilon is also possible in this language also. Okay, inside epsilon will not make any difference. Okay, two epsilons, suppose there is no meaning of two epsilons, right? That's why this L1 and L2 languages are generating same number of strings, same type of strings. Okay, can both will generate same type of strings, and both languages are same. That's why L1 equal to L2. Option 3 is the right answer here. This is the right answer. And next, this is also UGC NET 2020 November. Please see, just by using this regular expression, if you know the how this production is coming, then it is very easy, right? This question is also based on the production only. If you know the meaning of whole star and whole plus, then it is very easy to find the answer this type of questions, right? This is consider the following regular expressions. R is equal to A into B plus A whole star, and S is A into A plus B whole star, and T is A star B. Now we will generate some strings from language R and language S and language T. Then we can say whichever the language is producing more number of strings, that will be superset, right? First we will see from our language R. What will be possible from language R? First we will A plus B. A we will keep it like this only, because it is a prefix, right? That's why it will not change. Now A plus B whole star means epsilon is possible, and A possible, only B possible, AB possible, BA possible, then any combinations of A, B is possible. Now what the language R will become? Epsilon into A, AA, AB, and AAB, ABA. Like this, any combinations of A and B is possible. Only B is not possible in this language, because already one A is there as a prefix. That's why if it is epsilon, then only A is possible, but only B is not possible. Every time, for every string, A will be there as a prefix. For every string, A, first A will be there. That's because it is mandatory. It is a prefix. Okay. Now we will see languages. From language S also. Oh, here plus. This is not a star in the language S. This is plus. That's why S is same. We will do like that only. A plus B all plus means here epsilon is not possible. Except epsilon, every string can be produced from A plus B whole star, right? A is possible, B is possible, just epsilon is not possible. A is possible, B, AB, BA, like that any combinations of A and B is possible. Now S is equal to what? AA, single A is not possible here because here epsilon is not possible. That's why in this S, single A is not possible. AB and AAB, for every string A will come before. Okay, this is about S. Now we will produce the strings of language T also. This is A star means what? Some epsilon is possible and any number of A's is possible, right? This is the meaning of A star. We will see now A and B must be there. A is the prefix and B is the postfix. That's why if A star is epsilon, then AB, the string is AB. Now next AAB, AAAB and AAAB, like that this A's will be increased, right? But single A and single B is not possible in this T also. Now we will observe in which language more strings are there. Here first we will compare R and S. In R only A is possible. In R only A is possible. In R only A is possible. But in S only A is there? No. But R AA is there. In S also AA is there. In R AB is there. In S also AB is there. In R AAB is there. In S also AAB is there. In R ABA is there. Every string is there. But R is having one string more than S. That's why L of R, language R is superset of language S, right? From all the given options, this is only the matching, right? L of R is superset of L of S. By directly just comparing R and S, we came up with the right answer. But we will see. We will compare S and T now. S and T. In S and T, AA is possible here, but AA is not there in T language. It is extra, right? But AB is there. Here also AB is there, and here AAB is possible. Here also AAB possible. Here ABA is possible. Here also. Here ABA is also not there, right? ABA is also not there. That's why language S is producing more strings when compared to language T. That's why S is superset of LT. This is the most right answer, friends. If you write some strings, then it is enough. Just 5 to 6 strings we have to write and we have to compare. Then we will come up with the right answer. That's why option 2 is the right answer here. Okay. Next, this is also UGC NET 2020 November. Consider L is equal to L1 intersection L2, where L1 is, this is a constant, this is no problem, and m comma n greater than or equal to 0, and L2 is 0 power m, 1 power n, 2 power k, m comma n comma k greater than or equal to 0. We have to do the intersection of these languages. What is the language we will get after the intersection of these two languages? It is the question, right? This is what type of language, friends? This is what type of language? L1. It is a CFL, right? Because there is only one comparison, right? First they are comparing 0 and 1. Suppose we will take 0 power 2 and 1 power 2. This is a constant. It will not make any difference. After constant, again 0 power n, 0 power 3, 1 power 3. This is the language. Okay. What is DCFL, friends? DCFL only one comparison should be there and stock should be empty. First we are pushing all A's. Whenever we are seeing A's, zeros, and whenever we are seeing ones, we are popping zeros. Now the stock is empty. Next we are pushing all three zeros, and whenever we are watching the ones, we are popping all the zeros for every one. Stock is empty. That's why there is a one comparison between 0 and 1 here and 0 1 here, and stock is also empty. That's why L1 is CFL intersection. And what type of this language is this? L2 is 0 power m, 1 power n, 2 power k. There is no comparison here, right? There is no comparison, only ordering is there. Just there is a zeros will come before 1 and ones will come before 2. This order will be followed, but there is no comparison like number of zeros is equal to number of 1 and number of ones is equal to number of 2. That type of comparison is not there here. That's why language L2 is the what type of language? It is a regular language, right? If there is infinite, if it is not finite, if it is infinite, but there is no comparison, only ordering, that means this is a regular language. Okay, context CFL intersection regular. What we will get? CFL only. Whatever the language we are doing with the intersection with the regular language, we will get that language only. Okay. Yeah. That how it is coming? How it is coming? Regular intersection CFL. How it is becoming CFL? Suppose if it is a regular language, that means it will become, it is also is a CFL, right? I am taking one CFL like this intersection 1 a power m b power k. This is a regular because there is no comparison here. M greater than or equal to 0, k greater than or equal to 0. Here n is greater than 0. That means here it is a CFL. It is a regular. Every regular is CFL, right? Every regular is CFL. That's why the intersection of the CFL and regular is CFL only. That's why if we do any language intersection of any language with the regular, will get that language only. Okay, intersection of regular X, whichever language we are doing regular with the intersection with the regular, we will get that the X only. This is, that's why this language is a context free but not regular. That option 3 is the right answer. I hope you understand this question. It is very important concept. Every time question is coming from comparison between regular and context free. This is a recent GATE 2021 February GATE is there, right? That question is this. Consider the following language. L is equal to W. The string belongs to 0, 1 whole star. That means the string is the combinations of 0, 1 and epsilon is also possible. Ends with the substring 0, 1, 1. That language should end with the substring 0, 1, 1. Which of the following is the correct matching for the type of language which is ending with the 0, 1, 1? Okay, all are same number of states, right? Just by observing, this is the initial state and all the options is having same number of states. We have to see which is the correct option here. Here see first option. Here in first option, in the starting state any number of ones can be possible, no problem, and it will take 0 and it is going to non-final state. And in this state also any number of zeros is coming, it is accepting, and next it is taking 1 and it is going to next state. Okay, and it is taking 1 and it is going to final state. Here in this language, here we are getting 0 1 1 substring or not. We have to see that. Yes, right. Here we are accepting 0 and here taking 1 1 1 0 1 1 is a substring. In the final state, uh, in the final state, if any number of ones is coming, it is accepting. But this is not right. Just the substring in the final, when it is going to final, it should be accept only 0 1 1. But in this option, it is accepting any number of ones. That means it is not substring 0 1 1 is we are not getting. We are getting 0 1 1 star. This is not right answer. This is self loop means what? Self loop means what? Self loop means star. Any number of ones. And epsilon is also possible. Any number of ones is called as self loop. That's why this is not a right answer. Our substring should be 0 1 1, right? This is also not possible from by looking just here also we are getting 0 1 1. After that again we are accepting 0 1. That means it is not like 0 1. Here it is like 0 1 star 0 star. This option is also not right. From 2 and 3 we have to decide now. Okay. Mm, Here see the second option. Here any number of ones, it is taking 0. Here any number of zeros and here 0. Okay. Here is 1 and here is 1. Right. Again in the final state it is ending 0 1 1 substring, but if any 1 is coming, it is sending to this state. That means it becomes one more 1, right? Here 0 1 1 1. Here we are getting 4 ones. We are getting 3 ones, right? We are getting, there should not be any one come, it should not come here because it is already we are making 0 1 1 as a substring. Here in this any 0 is coming, we are sending here. There is no problem because just 1 0 any zeros, but 0 will be there at last, right? 0 is there here. Here 1 is there. Here 1 is there. But if any 1 is coming, we are sending here. That means again one more 1 will be there here. It will become 0 1 1, right? Like this. But it is also not right answer. Okay, next we will see the next option. Here in this third option, what here 0 we are accept the here it is a 0. Any number of zeros means last is 0 and 1, and here also 1, and in the final state if any 0 is coming, we are sending to this in any 0 star, and here also any 1 is coming, we are sending to initial state. Okay, here also we are sending initial state. That means this this is accepting only, we take here 1 0 0 1 1, right? That's why this is the right option. We should not send here because here we are making 0 1 1 substring. So if we send any one in the middle, okay, if we are getting final state any one, if we are sending in the middle of this substring, it will change, right? That's why we should not send here. If any one is coming, we have to send to the starting one. That will not make any change to our substring. Our substring here is 0 1 1. If any 0 is coming in the final state, we are sending to this state, and if any 1 is coming, we are sending to initial state. That's why 0 1 1 substring we are getting in this language. This option 3 is the right answer here. Okay. Here this is also GATE 2021 question. Here suppose L1 is regular language and L2 is context free language. Yes, always they are comparing regular and context free. This type of questions more are coming. Here we have to say which of the following languages are not necessarily context free. They are given four options. We have to tell out of these four which is not a context free. So we will take L1 minus L2, regular minus CFL. Is this context free or not? We will see. We can change this right, this right like this, right? Regular intersection CFL complement. Okay. What is the complement of CFL? The complement, um, the CFL is not closed under complementation, right? CFL is not closed under complementation. That's why it will become CSL. That it will become what? Whichever we are doing intersection with the regular, we will get what? This only. You have to remember this. If it is X only, S, this only we will get. This is a CSL. It will not become CFL because CFL is not closed under complementation. That's why it will become more power, whichever is having highest power before highest of CSL, CFL, then it is that only. It will become CSL. CSL intersection regular will become CSL. It will not CFL. Okay, directly this is the first one is the right answer, but we will check the other options also. L1 intersection L2, regular intersection CFL. Regular intersection CFL is CFL only, and regular, this is second option, and third option is regular union CFL. Regular union CFL also CFL, right? And regular concatenation with CFL. This also will become CFL. That's why this option 1 is wrong. It is not a context free. Decidability, we will see after discussing what is decidability. Okay. This is we already solved this, and this is also we solved just now. This we did not solve. Consider R to be any regular language. R is a regular language and L1, L2. Both are context free languages. Now the given options are, we have to see which is correct. Out of the four, one is correct, right? We have to see which is correct from the given four options. L1 is CFL. CFL intersection CFL. What we will get? CFL is not closed under intersection, right? Is closed under CFL is closed under intersection? No. We will see the next option. Yes, the CFL is not closed under intersection by using the closure property chart. That's why this is not a context free. Okay, this is not a context free. Next, L1 union L2, that is CFL union CFL complement. CFL union CFL is CFL because CFL is closed under union, and CFL complementation, CFL is not closed under complementation, right? That will become what? CSL minus regular. CSL minus regular is what? CSL intersection regular complement. Okay, CSL intersection regular is closed under everything. The complementation of regular language is also regular. That's why it will become what? CSL only. This is also not a CFL. He said this is a context free, but it is not a context free. This is context sensitive language we are getting. Why I am doing like this? CSL minus regular general set relation formula, right? A minus B we can write A intersection B complement. Okay, A minus B means if it is this is A and this is B, what is A minus B? This is A minus B. That means A intersection B complement. This is the A minus B. Next one is L1 minus R is a context free. L1 is CFL and R minus R. That also, how can we write? CFL intersection regular complement. That is CFL intersection regular is closed under complementation. That's why regular complement is regular. That will become CFL intersection regular. What? CFL is intersection regular is what? CFL. This is right option. L1 minus R is a context free. L1 complement is context free? No, right? L1 is a CFL. CFL is not closed under complementation. That's why it will not become context free. That's why only option 3 is the right answer. Option 3 is the right answer here. Next, this is the right answer, and there is a Turing machine concept is also there. Turing machine was invented by Alan Turing and it is used to accept recursively innumerable languages. This is a type 0 grammar, right? A Turing machine consists of a tape of infinite length on which read and writes operation can be performed. This is having infinite length tape. The tape consists of infinite cells on which each cell either contains input symbol, a special symbol called blank. It also consists of a head pointer which points to cell currently being read and it can move in both directions. This head pointer can move in both directions. It is having infinite length tape. This is having infinite length tape and which reads operation and it will do write operation as well. It also consists of head pointer which points to cell currently being read and it can move in both directions. This head pointer will read the currently whichever is reading it can move in both directions. It can move this and two directions. A Turing machine is expressed as a 7 tuple where this is expressed like this. Q is a, we know that it is a finite set of states. T is the tape alphabet. B is blank symbol. Sigma is the input alphabet. Delta is a transition function which maps Q the finite set of states taking into tape alphabet. It will go to left or right depending on its present state and present tape alphabet. It will move to new state, change the tape symbol and move head pointer to either left or right. Q0 is the initial state, F is a final state, set of final states. If any state of F is reached, input string is accepted. If any state is going reached to final state, then that means that input string is accepted. Now we will see what is decidability. From decidability also every time questions are coming. A language is undecidable if it is not decidable. Okay, decidable means whether we can decide on that particular problem. Are we able to getting the any conclusion? An undecidable language may be partially decidable language or something else but not decidable. If a language is not even partially decidable, then there exists no Turing machine for that language. If any language is partially decidable, that means that language is not having any Turing machine. Okay, that is a meaning. And in this topic, you will see decidability table and shortcut to learn them. Okay, we all know RL means regular language, CFL means context free language, DCFL means deterministic context free language, CSL means context sensitive language, and this is a recursive language. This is recursively enumerable language, and D is decidable and UD is undecidable. These are the different problems and which are decidable on which problems. Regular, DCFL, CFL, CSL, recursive and recursively enumerable. This is called as a membership problem. Does W belongs to language L? Suppose they give a string AB. Is this string AB belongs to this language? That is called as a membership problem where W is any string. In membership problem is decidable in regular, DCFL, CFL. You have to remember this sequence also. First regular will come, next DCFL, next CFL, CSL, recursive and recursively enumerable. This membership problem is decidable in all the languages except the recursively enumerable. It is undecidable. We have to remember like this. It is decidable for all except recursively enumerable. Next one is emptiness problem. Is this language is null? Suppose if they will give regular language, they will give regular language and they will regular is equal to null. Is null. Is this regular language is null? It is decidable or not? They will ask like that. We can say the regular language is decidable for all type of problems. Okay, in closure property also, regular language is closed under every operation. Here in the decidability also, regular language is decidable in all type of problems. That is called as, this is a emptiness problem. Emptiness problem is decidable in which languages? Regular, DCFL and CFL only. CSL recursive and recursive enumerable not decidable under emptiness problem. Okay, membership problem, and next one is emptiness problem. Next one is, here you have to remember this. First, membership problem, emptiness problem and finiteness problem. Next you remember this. If the given language is finite or not, we can decide in regular, DCFL and CFL. These three only we can decide in these three languages only. Regular, DCFL and CFL languages. We can decide is this language is finiteness or not. This is called as a finiteness problem. Okay, up to now, first one is membership problem. Next one is emptiness problem. This is decidable for three: DCFL, CFL and regular. And finiteness problem also decidable in regular, DCFL and CFL. Next one is uh, completeness problem. L is equal to E clean star, where E star is a set of all languages possible over the given alphabet. Is this language is complete? Okay, that is decidable in regular and DCFL only. It is not decidable in any all other languages. Okay, next, equality problem. This is a completeness and this is a equality. Is this two two languages are equal or not. L1 and L2 are same type or not. Same type or not is it is also decidable only in regular and DCFL. Next, L1 is subset of L2. Subset problem is this L1 is subset of L2 is decidable only in regular. It is not decidable in any other languages. And L1 is intersection of L2 is null. Is L1 intersection L2 is null? It is also decidable only in regular. Next, finiteness we already saw regular DCFL and CFL. Next is complement and intersection. These two always come together, right? Complement, intersection. Complement of language of same type or not. Intersection of two languages of same type or not. Complement of language, it is decidable in regular DCFL and CSL and recursive also. The complement of a language is same type or not is decidable in CSL and recursive. And intersection of two languages same type or not is also decidable in CSL and recursive. CSL and recursive are we can decidable in what? Complement and intersection. Complement, intersection. This CSL and recursive are decidable in complement of a language of same type or not, intersection of two languages of same type or not. And this complement is also decidable in DCFL also. Okay. Next, is L a regular language or not? L is any language. Then we have to say, we have to decide whether L is regular or not. Okay. This regular is decidable in regular language and it is decidable in DCFL also. You have to remember like this, then you can solve any question based on decidability chart. If you do daily revision and up to the exam, then it is very easy to remember and apply in the exam also. First one is membership problem. It is all decidable except recursively enumerable. Next one is emptiness. Only three. First three. Regular, DCFL and CFL are decidable. Next one is, remember this, finiteness problem. This is also first three. Regular, DCFL and CFL. Next go here, completeness problem. Completeness problem is decidable regular and DCFL. This equality problem also decidable and regular and DCFL. And L1 is subset of L2 is subset problem is only decidable in regular and intersection. L1 intersection L2 null is decidable only in regular. Just here in these two, completeness and finite equality. In both, DCFL is closed, extra. Here again in complementation also DCFL is closed and intersection. In complement and intersection both CSL and recursive are decidable. And is regular, in is regular also this DCFL is closed. Okay. Now how to remember this all this in short? You can say that regular languages are, it is decidable for all the problems, right? CFL is, it is decidable for emptiness problem, finiteness problem and membership problem, right? Please see here this CFL. This CFL is closed under, decidable for membership problem and emptiness problem. This CFL is closed under membership, emptiness and finiteness. Only in these three the CFL is closed. Okay, the CFL is decidable in membership, emptiness and finiteness. Next point is CSL and recursive. CSL and recursive way here complement and intersection. Complement and intersection. In these two, CSL and recursive are decidable. And is intersection of two languages same type or not? Is complement of two languages same type of or not? Is decidable in CSL and recursive language. And next one is recursive. Recursive is decidable for intersection and complement, right? CSL and recursive both are same in same and DCFL is decidable for everything decidable in CFL. That means DCFL and CFL closed under membership and emptiness, finiteness. These are closed under these three, and extra DCFL is extra closed in under some, right? DCFL is closed under is complement of languages same type or not, is regular language. This is closed extra, right? This DCFL is closed. DCFL is closed here. Is complement also DCFL closed, but CFL is not closed here. And is regular also closed. DCFL is closed. CFL is not closed. And here also completeness also DCFL is closed extra, and equality problem also DCFL is closed. CFL is not closed. Commonly they are closed in 3, and extra DCFL is closed completeness, equality and complement and is regular. These 4 DCFL is closed extra for properties. Now we will see, these are the questions based on the decidability. Consider the following problems: whether a finite state automation halts on all inputs. Finite state automation means regular, right? This is a regular language. Who will accept the finite state automation? Accept which type of languages? Regular languages, that is finite automata. This is accepted by a regular languages. That's why the regular languages are decidable for all type of problems, right? For all type of problems. Whether a given context free language is regular, is regular. It is a is regular. Is regular is closed for who, decidable for which type of problems? Regular and DCFL only decidable for is regular. Okay. If a CFL is given, if a regular language is given, we can say is it regular or not. And if it is DCFL is given, we can say it is regular or not. Okay. But it is decidable. But if any CFL language is given, we cannot decide whether it is a regular or not. That is the meaning of that. This is not decidable. And the third option is, this is decidable, this is not decidable. Third up, whether a Turing machine computes the product of two numbers. This is for Turing machine also, nothing is decidable, right? For Turing machine, this is also, Turing machine means recursively enumerable language. You can observe here, in recursively enumerable, nothing is decidable. From all this, this is not decidable. That's why this is also not decidable. Which is decidable here? Yeah, only 2 and 3 are undecidable problems. That means 1 is a decidable. We have to say which are undecidable problems. 2 and 3 are undecidable here. This is the right answer here. Next one is, which of the following problems is decidable for recursive languages? Recursive languages, which is, can you remember recursive and CSL and recursive. Only CSL and recursive are decidable for what? Complement and intersection, right? Complement and intersection, recursive and CSL are closed. Only for these two, these are closed. The recursive language is given. Is empty. It is not, right? It is not decidable. And clean star, it is also not decidable, right? And we know where it is decidable. That means these are all non-decidable, right? And is L is equal to R, where R is a given regular set. Is regular, L is equal to R, where R is a regular set. That means what is this? Is regular. Is this language is regular? It is also not decidable, right? But here it is decidable. It is a membership problem, right? Membership. Suppose if any string is given, it is asking about is this string is belongs to this language. Is this decidable in recursive? Yes, it is decidable in recursive. That's why only this problem 4 is decidable for the recursive languages. 4 is the right answer here. Consider the following two statements, S1 and S2. These two, there exists no algorithm for deciding if any two Turing machines M1 and M2 accept the same language. For the Turing machine, there is no machine, right, to decide whether these two Turing machines accepting same language. There is no, this is not decidable. Turing machine accepting same language or not, it is not decidable for Turing machine. Same, it is saying correct only. We have to tell which is these two statements correct or which statement is wrong, like that. Let M1 and M2 be arbitrary Turing machines. The problem to determine language of machine 1 is subset of language of machines 2. Is L1 is subset of L2? It is decidable for only regular, right? You see here, yeah, where it is here. Subset problem. Language L1 subset of language L2. It is decidable only in regular. That's why in Turing machine also we cannot say is that some language L1 of machine 1 and language L of machine 2 is the subset of this language or not, we cannot decide. That's why both are right. Both are saying correct only. S1 is correct, S2 is correct. S1 correct because equality problem. This is a equality problem. There exists no algorithm for deciding if two Turing machine M1 M2 accept the same language means what? These two are equal. Okay, yes, right. This equality problem is decidable for whom? Equality problem. This is a completeness in equality. Equality is uh, decidable for regular and DCFL only. For these two only equality problem is, that means are languages of same type, and completeness also DCFL and regular. Because recursively enumerable languages, equality problem is undecidable. S2 is correct because subset problem of recursively enumerable language also undecidable. Next one is a language L belongs to sigma star is recursive if there exists some Turing machine M. Okay, it is a recursive then if there exists only a Turing machine M, right? Which of the following conditions is satisfied for any string W? This is a Turing machine. If W belongs to L, then M accepts W and M will not halt. It is not correct. In Turing machine, we will see if W not belongs to L and M accepts W. W means it is a string of, it is a string. If that string is not belongs to L, then the machine accepts. Is it true? No, right? It will not accept. And M will halt by reaching final state. This is a wrong statement. And if W not belongs to L, then M halts without reaching to acceptable state. If W belongs to L, then M halts without reaching to an acceptable state. No, this is also wrong. If W is belongs to L, then M has to halt to go to final state. But it is saying without reaching to an acceptable state. This is wrong. This is right. If W not belongs to L, then what that machine will do, machine halts, machine will be halts, but it is not going to acceptable state. That's why this option 3 is the right answer. If language is recursive, then language have Turing machine will always halt in final state. If string is belongs to that language, then this Turing machine will halt going to final state. But if that string is not belongs to L, it will, the machine will halt, but it will not go to final state. This is a final state and this is a non-final state. It will halt, but it will not reaching to, without reaching to acceptable state. That is the right answer. Next I will some questions remaining in the upper side. Yes, this is also, this question is a UGC net 2000 November 2020 question only. This is also, the problem is L1 intersection L2 is equal to pi is undecidable for context sensitive languages. L1 and L2 both are what? CSL. Okay, it is what? Emptiness problem, right? L1 intersection L2 is empty. Emptiness problem is decidable in the CSL? No, right? In CSL is decidable for what? Only membership problem, first membership problem. Next, CSL and recursive. These both are decidable for what? Complement and intersection. These both only. Complement and intersection. But it is not closed under emptiness problem, right? That's why this is a true. Undecidable. Yes, this is true only. And the second statement is the problem is W. That means it is a membership problem. This string is belongs to L is decidable for context sensitive language L, where W is a string. Yes, right. The first membership problem is decidable for everything except recursively enumerable language. It is decidable for regular, it is decidable for DCFL, it is decidable CFL, it is decidable for CSL, it is decidable for recursive. Only recursively enumerable languages are not decidable for the membership problem. This is also true. CSL is decidable for membership problem. That's why the both statements are true. Here both statements are true. This is we already solved. Okay friends, thank you very much. These are all about the TOC. Everything I have discussed, regular languages, what are regular and what are different types of languages, and how to generate strings, what is ambiguous grammar, how to check it is ambiguous or not, and what are the closure properties, what is the closure property chart and decidability chart, and all the previous year's questions of the TOC maximum. We have discussed everything from the TOC. Okay, if you watch this all these videos uh, carefully, and if you understand, then you will at least get 8 to 9 questions in the UGC net on this, based on this concept. That means you will get 15 marks, at least 15 marks from the TOC. Okay friends, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye friends.